All right, Shalom Israel. This is the I.S.U.P.K under commanding General Yohanna. You know, at the UPK, what do we teach? We teach according to the Bible and history that the black man is the real Jew. Yes, you black man from the West Indian descent, up in Handsworth, up in Moss Side, Tuxteth in Liverpool, up in the ghettos of London, wherever you are in the UK, you are the real Jews. You know what I mean? You ain't just African, you ain't just West Indian, you ain't just Jamaican. According to the Bible, God called you an Israelite. And what does an Israelite mean? He is a prince of the power, man. You are the sons of God. Them same great people that you read of in the Bible, that's you, man. No more should you be reading this book and be thinking, those people are great, man. I wish I was them, man. That is you, man. You know what I mean? Those people had that great history, walked with God. God parted the Red Sea for them. That's your ancestors going far back, man. So, you know, we need to get out of religion, get out of Christianity, get out of all the philosophies. Why? Because they're not helping us, man. We want answers, and what do? Join the church. And what happens? When we join the church, we get fed extra lies. Then what happens? You find out, you know what? Christianity ain't the way. What is the next thing a black man does? Join the mosque. And then he's getting fed even much. He's even getting fed lies there too, man. It shows that religion ain't the way for us. We're searching for God, but God ain't in the church. God ain't in the mosque. God ain't in Pan-Africanism. God ain't in, what's some other things? Catholicism, Rastafarianism. The Lord ain't there, man. The Lord's in the Bible, and the Bible's got nothing to do with religion at all, man. You know what I mean? But give me Jeremiah 3 and 15. You know, the Lord, he's waking up his men. You know what I mean? We've had lying vicars, bishops, etc. And they ain't taught us nothing, man. They've lied to you. You know, you ask the honest man in church, what did you learn today? An honest man, do you know what he will say to you? Nothing. You know what I mean? Now, someone who's arrogant and doesn't want to be wrong, what do they say? I've learned about God loves everyone, and they'll try and make it seem like they've learned something. But a lot of people know in that church, you don't learn nothing, man. When I was a kid, I was at church, the golden text, and it ain't even in the Bible. The gold, you know what I mean? He's referencing, you mean, they have all the kids singing the golden text today, and that text ain't even in the Bible, man. But you got it for me, Jeremiah 3 and 15.
Jeremiah 3 and 15. And I will give you pastors according to mine heart.
So listen to what God's saying. He will send you pastors according to mine heart, meaning the Lord, he's going to send you men according to his mind. What is the mind of the Lord? This Bible, man. The Bible is the mind of the Lord. And the Lord saying he's going to send men after his heart, after his mind, which means what? The people that you think have the Lord's mind don't have it. It's the Lord saying, I will send you them, meaning the people that claim they're sent now, they're not of the Lord. That imam that claims he's sent by God, he's sent by Allah, he's not sent. Your vicar, bishop, deaconess nowadays, they're not sent by the Lord. How do we know that? Because the Bible is saying, I will send you pastors according to mine heart, meaning those that claim they're sent now, they can't be sent. It's the Lord saying in the last days, he's going to send men. So that, you know what I mean? So no one should be looking up to them like they're men of God. They know the Bible. My pastor said, listen, ignore what your pastor said. Your pastor don't know the Bible, man. You know what I mean? You listening to him is like listening to any man on the road, man. You know what I mean? He don't know the Bible. The man that's on the roadside don't know the Bible. No difference, man. You know what I mean? Give me Isaiah. Is there any more in Jeremiah?
And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you.
And that's the problem. A pastor as the Lord is going to feed you in the church. Nobody ain't fed. You can't deny that. I don't care who you are. In church, no one gets fed. No one. And now, when it means to get fed, it doesn't literally mean food. It means you get taught wisdom. Like, you know, when some people say, like, you mean when they learn something, that like they're full. And now in church, you don't get fed. The golden text ain't feeding nobody. Your pastor talking about his son in university, his daughter, you know what I mean, and she got this new job. That ain't feeding no one. Nobody ain't learning. But a real man of God, he's gonna feed you, man. And that's the UPK. I don't care what anybody says. You come into our class, you get fed, man. You know what I mean? You get fed, you learn about tongues, means languages in the Bible. Deuteronomy 28:68 about us being enslaved by the white man. You know what I mean? You get fed at the UPK, but in your church and your master, I can't say the same. Ain't no one getting fed in there. You know what I mean? You're just going over the same thing. You know what I mean? Sing, dance. You know what I mean? My son's education. My son's in the army. God blessed him. So because your son's in the army, that's something good from God. It shows that really he worships the white man. So you're fighting his cause and God's with him because he's fighting the white man's cause. So that shows a lot about what they think, really, man. Just read that last bit.
We shall feed you with knowledge and understanding.
And it lets you know how you even get fed with the knowledge and understanding. That's what you get fed with. And in the church, no one understands nothing, man. You know what I mean? They just read the Bible and no one ain't going, stop. What does that mean? No one don't understand nothing. They don't understand it so bad. What they even read contradicts themselves. I've been at camp and there's always someone just hanging around and they say, and the Bible says this. And I listen to what they say and that's helping me. What you're saying is for my cause. Like, they don't understand what they're even reading. You know what I mean? Like, they love to go to a verse in the Bible and the God of Abraham, Isaac. Yeah, but you know what I mean? That ain't the God of everyone then. No, it's the God of everyone. And then the verse that he's telling you to read, that's helping me. So if you're telling me to read that verse, that makes my point, not yours. And this is where it originates from. You learn from a pastor who has no understanding. You can't feed you at all, man. Yeah, read on or delete on that.
We shall feed you with knowledge and understanding, and it shall come to pass when ye be multiplied and increased in the land. In those days the Lord shall say no more, the ark of the covenant of the Lord. All
right, that's going to sort them out. Give me Isaiah 30 and the 20th verse. You know what I mean? And that's something that people don't understand, is that if you're taught by a man of God, you get fed with wisdom and understanding as well. You know what I mean? Forget the church. You don't get fed with nothing. You know what I mean? There's a verse in the Bible where it even says that they don't get fed, which we can get later on as well. You got it for me, Isaiah 30 and 20.
Isaiah 30 and 20. And though the Lord gives you the bread of adversity.
So now listen to what the Lord's saying. The Lord's talking to us, blacks and Hispanics. And the Lord, he gave us the bread of adversity. Would anyone like to have a shot at that? What does it mean by, although the Lord has given us the bread of adversity?
Meaning, it's using that metaphor. What we go for is compared to bread. Like, I feed you with black on black crime. I feed you with, you know what I mean, poverty and oppression. Even though the Lord gives us the bread of adversity, everything that we go for is adversity. That's right.
It's adverse, meaning it's hard. Funny enough, I was listening to Hot 92, and I think about 9 o'clock. You know, I don't know which one it is, but they have like a debate on there, and the debate was about the black kids and the hairstyles in the school. Now, of course, I'm a big man. I don't go to school, but little did I know that a lot of the kids, they're doing them bad. They're expelling them because of a fade. There, you know what I mean? Like, because they have like cane rolls in like their hair. There's one case where they actually took the girl's hair out in the school, and that's rude. And that's us, man. We get that adversity. You know what I mean? It's just a hairstyle. Like, what does a hairstyle have to do with your education, man? You got something to say?
It's quite strange because obviously they teach that equality and diversity and say different people have sexualities and genders and races. You come into school with a haircut and they don't want you in the next day because you changed how your hair looks.
There you go. You see, and that's a heavy point. You allow sex change, meaning in the school, a boy can wear a dress, but I can't have a hairstyle. You mad? Like, what does that mean? You got something?
Again, and the seats can wear the turban, top knot, but you wear fade. It's too black for them.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, a lot of people, they were saying, but it's a hairstyle that goes in the black community. A fade is common, but now they're even trying to get rid of that, high tops. And what does a haircut has to do with your education? Meanwhile, them white kids that put all that, you know what I mean? Like they have that, what's it called? The Mohican. They get away with it. All that spiky gel in their hair, looking like Sonic the Hedgehog. No one ain't knocking them. You know what I mean? They get to go to school every day, but a black kid every day fade. Nah, you know, he needs to go.
It's more reason for us to have our own school.
Most definitely, we should. Because really, it's, you know what I mean? While it comes down to is, they don't like black hairstyles. They think, oh, that's ghetto, that's some trash stuff. You can't come here with that. They took the girls' cameras out in the school. If I was that mother, I'm a man, of course, but I wouldn't be talking to no teacher who took out the hair. We would have to fight. I'm telling you straight. You sat my daughter down and you take out the camera like, yeah, nah, it's not. If anything, send her home and talk to me. But you took the hair out in the school, man, and that's rude. And they wouldn't do it to no white kid. They wouldn't do it to no Hindu guy or like a Sikh. They would never do it. Believe me, you can read articles going back to the 60s. There's not a case where they've done that to no man that follows the Hinduism faith, man. No East Indian, but you, expelling you. You know what I mean? Some of them can't come back for all 6 weeks. So their education's messed up, man. When it's, what's it called? SAT, SATs. Or the GCSEs. Yeah, when it comes time for that, they're not going to pass. Why? Because they had 6 weeks off doing nothing. Why? Because of a hairstyle. And that's us, man. We're the people that get hit with adversity. You send your kids to school to learn, and because of a hairstyle, they make sure that he don't learn. You know what I mean? But read on.
Though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction.
And that's us. People are afflicted, man. Nobody ain't afflicted like us. I don't care who you are, Irish, Somalian, Eritrean, you know what I mean? Everyone loves to talk about every other race, but what about us, man? Nobody ain't afflicted like us. They know who they are. They have Irish last names, McGregor, McDubb, Connor. You know what I mean? They know who they are. We don't. We got Gordon, Johnson, Robinson. And you do know what Johnson means? You're the son of John, meaning a man owned you whose name was John, and you are Johnson, Robinson. You know what I mean? He owned you and you was his son. So we the people are afflicted more than anybody else. Every nation has their last names. They know what they were doing hundreds of years back. But there's one people that don't, man. All what we talk about is Ghana, West Africa. But where was we before that? And okay then, even off the back of that, in West Africa, what did we do? You got the Ashanti tribe, Igbo tribe. Yeah, they're in West Africa, but where do you fit in with them? And also, what was you doing? What was you eating? You know what I mean? What things did you do? And no one don't know that. You're too busy trying to latch on to them people, but what was you doing? You're latching onto what they're doing in West Africa, but that doesn't mean that you was doing that just because they was doing it. And that's us. We're the people that are afflicted, man. We done?
Yeah. Shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore?
So in the last days, we have adversity, affliction, but the men that you get taught by, they're not going to be removed into a corner anymore. What does that mean?
So like I said, meaning true men of the Bible that teach the Bible, they're in corners. You know what I mean? No one knows. Like the pastor, everyone knows.
That's right.
The preacher, everyone knows. But the women of God, men of I.S.U.P.K, not many people know.
No one knows the truth.
But God's saying the days coming where we're not going to be corners anymore. It's not going to be a little class on large roads. You know what I mean? It's not going to be a couple members on YouTube. It's going to be just like the same way the church got many members. But you know what I mean? And everyone knows about the church and every street corner.
There you go.
There's going to be video in every corner as well.
And that's us, yeah. We're not going to be removed no more, man. No one ain't stopping camp. You know what I mean? We're going to have a big platform just like them. We're not going to be removed into a corner anymore. Read on.
God. But thy eyes shall see thy teachers.
And that's key. Your eyes shall see them. That's why we have camp. You know what I mean? The people that you get taught by, the only one way you're going to see them, and that's if they have camp. You know what I mean? And people see, like, you know what he's saying is true, man. You see teachers, and that's what we do at the UPK. Let me tell you a fact. Before the I.S.U.P.K, nobody had a camp. Nobody went out and had a microphone on the street and taught the Bible, research it. Nobody, fake Judaism, black Israelites, if you want to call them that, they did not have no camp. Nobody did. Only the UPK. You know what I mean? We were the people that went out there and had camp, man. Nobody else. And what are we doing? Fulfilling Isaiah, man. You're going to see your teachers. They're not going to be hidden, eating eggs and, you know what I mean? What's the name of the horn? Just like blowing on the shofar all night. They're going to be out there having camp, man. Your eyes are going to see your teachers, man. You know what I mean? Read on.
And thy ears shall hear a word behind thee.
And your ears shall hear a word. So when you see this man, what he's saying, you mean you have to listen. Like my ears are like, what are you talking about? Black people being Jews, slavery in the Bible. You know what I mean? And your ears will hear these words, man. Read on.
Saying, this is the way.
And saying, this is the way. And at the UPK, that's what we say, man. This is the way. Forget your church. Forget your mosque. Forget Egyptology. This is the way. And that's what a real man of God says, man. He's not trying to get along. He's telling you, look, man, if you're an Israelite, this is the way. Leave that church. Leave that mosque. Throw away that book of the dead. You know what I mean? We're telling you, this is the way, man. Read on.
Walk ye therein.
And walk ye in, meaning do it. Don't just hear and go, it sounds black. It sounds good. You know what I mean? That's not enough. You got to walk in it, man. You know what I mean? A lot of times, there's always someone ringing me. I like what you lot do, you know. So my question is, okay, cool. So what? What's next? Well, you know me, you know, brother. You know, I'm just an observer. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? You lot are doing your thing still, and I just lose all interest. Like, okay, bye. Why? Because the Bible says, walk in it. It's one thing to hear and go, it sounds good, but just hearing it ain't enough. The Lord wants you to walk in it, man. Read on.
When you turn to the right, and when you turn to the left.
And when you turn to the right and turn to the left. So what does it mean by turn to the right and turn to the left? There's a precept in the law about turning to the right and the left.
Means basically wherever you go, whatever you do, you hear it, you can't escape this.
That's right, yeah. Meaning this words is going to be in your ear wherever you go. Meaning, you're going to go on the internet. So example, you're going to turn to the right on the internet, ISUPK.com. You're going to turn to the left on the radio, raw Hebrew Israelites. And that's what the Bible's saying, man, that, you know what I mean? We're not going to be removed into a corner no more, man. You're going to see us and we're going to be teaching. And wherever you go to the right or left, you're going to hear about us. And we get it all the time, man. We walk around, headpiece on. People like, you're the I.S.U.P.K. Yeah, man, I watch you guys. You know what I mean? And why? Because people turn to the right and the left, and there we are, man. You know what I mean? And that's in the Bible, that in the last days, the real men of God, people are going to know about them, man. People are going to know who you are. You know what I mean? Even if they don't know you by name, people see us and go, I've seen you before. And like, yeah, what's up? Yeah, man, you was doing like some like thing in town talking about black Jews. And like, yeah. You know what I mean? And that's it, man. When you turn to the right hand or the left, you know what I mean? We got fame and we don't even know it, man. People watch us and they're like, I've seen you before, you know. Yeah, man, you that camp and then white people are angry at you, man. Rah, I can't believe it. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah, just you know what I mean? If anything, ring me, come to class. You know what I mean? Obviously, we don't care about that, you know what I mean? What's the one in Zephaniah about? In the last days, we should have a great aim. Let me get it for you real quick. It's in Zephaniah, the great fame. Let me grab that real quick. If you got it, let me know. But
3:19.
That sounds right. Yeah, Zephaniah 3:19. Yeah, Zephaniah. That's the right one. Yeah, Zephaniah 3:19.
Zephaniah 3 and 19. Behold, at that time I will undo all that afflict thee.
And in the last day, that's what you see. The Most High is doing everything. All that's been done to us as a nation of people, we're waking up now. You know what I mean? Why do you think so many black people are trying to research, trying to find stuff? Why? Because it's been undone. Everything that the Lord put upon us is now being undone. Where now people are, they're not just in the church, they're not just in the mosque. You know what I mean? Everyone's reading that like, I don't really agree with this and that. You know what I mean? Why? Because the Lord is making sure that in the last days, what was put upon us is being undone. Read on.
God, and I will save her that halteth.
And now he's gonna save her that altar. Who's the her? The her is the Israelites. We have been halted. Why? Because we sinned. Really, we're meant to have the earth, and do we have it now? Why? Because we're halted. Means the Lord's like, if you don't serve me, I'm gonna halt all your blessings, and that's us. We have been halted from the blessings, and the her is Israel. Read on.
And gather her that was driven out.
Read on.
And I will get them praise and fame in every land.
What did the Bible say?
And I will get them praise and fame in every land.
And that's the UPK, man. We get the praise and the fame in every land. In America, everyone knows Commanding General Yohanna. Even if you don't like him, you know of him. In the UK, you know what I mean? Me and Officer Karafia, we walk about and people know us like, I seen you too on some video, you know. Yeah, I know you do. You know what I mean? We get it all the time. And in Jamaica, Trinidad, wherever we are, we get fame, man. And we get good fame, not because we're deceiving blacks and Hispanics, not because we're telling them to sell crack and heroin. We get it because we're teaching them who they are and also to be righteous. You know what I mean? But read on.
God, where they have been put to shame.
And there, man, we get fame in the place where we have been put to shame. And in England, we've been put to shame lots of times, man. Been called WOG. You know what I mean? All the racist jokes. People thinking we're nothing. In this land, the UK, we was put to shame. Ain't no rocket science. Ian Wright, he knows full well about that. His son was in a game, and one white guy in the crowd was like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And then someone put the video on Mr. Wright, and he was vexed. I mean, everyone had to hold him back and that. You know what I mean? He's put to shame in like this land right here. What's some other ones? Raheem Erling. He's put to shame in this land. He's a black man just making his money, and what do they keep doing? Writing articles about him, look at him in his new car, even telling lies on him about he's got a son that he don't see. He ain't got no kids. What are you talking about? You know that's actually a written article in the Sun, and he had to take them to court saying that you're saying I've got a son that I don't see and I ain't got no kids. We're put to shame in this land, whether you have money or you don't, man. People look down on you, think you're nothing, think that you're no good. Why? Because you're the Israelite, man. You are the sons of God. Read on.
God, and at that time will I bring you again, even in that time I gather you, for I will make you a name and praise you among all the people of the earth. So the Lord's saying he will make us a name. So in this context, what is making you a name? What does that mean? Make your reputation.
The same thing. A reputation meaning we're not gonna be known as just drug dealers, deadbeat dads. You know what I mean? We're gonna have a reputation. And what's that reputation? That we are the sons of God, man. You know what I mean? We are the people that God loves. We are the righteous on the face of this earth, man. People look at us like we're no good, we're the most evilest thing, but that's not true, man. Black people are the most righteous people. Even in our wickedness, there's some things that even us as black people we would not do. Even in our wickedness, even with the gun crime, the knife crime, crack epidemic, there's things that still we won't do, while as any other nation they would do it, man. You know what I mean? We are righteous, but what happened, man? We've lost our way. Why? Because we love these heathens, and when you love someone, you do what they want you to do. And that's why we're in the mosque, we're in the church, We're trying to get the love as much as we can. But I know what someone's thinking. Well, if you're righteous, then why do we see all the black and black knife crime, the gun crime? What's that precept about the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor? I think that's Proverbs 12 and 26, or around there somewhere. Let me.
God, that's one.
Good
Proverbs 12 and 26.
Yeah.
The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor.
So listen to what the Bible's saying. The righteous is more excellent. Who's the righteous? You black man, you Hispanic man, you're the righteous, and you're more excellent than who?
Than his neighbor.
Than his neighbor. Now, in this context, it's talking about the other nations. So meaning we're more excellent than them. And it's not hard to see. You know what I mean? A lot of people think black people are so bad. I want to go and live around white people. Until you live around white people and you know how bad they are, man. You think living around your own is bad. Live around Indians, live around white people, and you'll be like, you know what? I wish I was back with my people, man. We are more excellent than our neighbors, meaning these other nations. We're excellent, man. You live in some white area, you'll hear of things that you would never hear amongst us. Raping kids. What does the white man call it? An aunt. Just call it that. You know that in white areas, that's common. White men, you know what I mean, doing things to young men and girls and boys, it's normal. Amongst us, that's like unheard of. Not saying it does not happen, but in a white community, that's common. It shows that we are more excellent than them, meaning amongst us, not saying it don't happen, but it's unheard of. Like, when's the last time you've heard of it in the black community?
Probably it's okay.
Yeah? Probably it's R. Kelly, you see. But in white areas, what's some white areas? Edgbaston, King Standing, what's some other ones? Chelmsley Wood, what's some, you know, but anyway, you get the point. Amongst them, raping kids is the norm, like, you know what I mean? Why? Because we're more excellent. We don't do that. Even in our wickedness, there's a line that we have like, nah, that's wrong. But anyway, have we done?
But the way of the wicked.
But the way of the wicked, so hang on now, is letting you know that the righteous is more excellent, but the way of the wicked, we're going to find out what the way of the wicked does, man. Read on.
Seduce of them.
And that's the problem. We're not just wicked because, you know what I mean, because we're just naturally that way. Black people have been seduced, man. We've been said, you know what I mean? We think that if we're like them, God will be with us. And the thing we don't understand is that God ain't with them. God ain't with no white man. God ain't with no Arabs. God ain't with no Chinese people. God ain't with no Egyptians. And we get seduced thinking, well, I need to do what they do so that, you know what I mean, God can be with me. And he wasn't with them anyway, man. You got some.
Even though gun crime and knife crime, like, they seduce us, they put it on TV. They put it through the radio waves. And you know what I mean? If it's so bad, why would you put it on TV? Like if you go on YouTube, you go on Facebook and say anything about Jews or gays, they'll block your YouTube account, man, or Facebook account. But you can, you know, share 10 Nicki Minaj videos, talk about being a whore, and they don't mind, but they want to seduce you.
That's right. Go.
To add to Officer Crawford's point, he's talking about like the knife crime and stuff. They want to put a ban on like drill music. But then today, Steve Khan, is that his name? He was basically saying that they were supposed to have like a TV debate about like knife crime and stuff. And it wouldn't let it happen, so they don't really want to fix the problem. They push it on the internet, like Crawford was saying, that the violence and killing each other. But then when it comes to people to get together and discuss what the issues are, they don't want to do it.
And that's right. And that's heavy too, because one thing you want to understand is in this empire, there's nothing the white man can't stop. People are like, you know, it's out of control. Knife crime is bad. Believe me, when the white man wants something stops, it stops. But the truth is they don't care because it's not them. So it's not that, you know, it's out of control. These kids and like these gangs, if they wanted to stop it tomorrow, they could. They know who they are, but they don't care. Why? Because it's not in their area. And you notice when something happens in the community they're from, that's when, yo, enough's enough. You know, I mean, we need to crack down on these teenage gangs. But it's been going on for ages, but you only care when it affects you.
Like even crack, like crack wasn't a problem when black people's having it, it only started being a problem. It started to break through to the what's some white kids that like to party hard and stuff.
Oh, got the punk rockers and stuff.
That's when the white ones had to crack down on crack. Before that, it wasn't a problem. We didn't care. No one raiding crack houses and giving, you know what I mean, people time in prison for long.
That's right. And I'll give you an example. You know what I mean? In America, they have their story, but even in the UK, back in the 90s, there was gangs, the burger bars, Johnsons. And do you know that in the 1995, they was killing each other. Crazy facts. And no one cared. People actually took someone's life and could just walk around free. And the police didn't care. Do you know when they started to? When the gangs, they started to basically expand. When they started to sell heroin in white areas, the burger bars and Johnsons, these deadly, what they call them, inner city street gangs, when you knew about them ages ago, but only when they're affecting you, now it's a problem. Now enough's enough. But when they were shooting each other dead, 1991, 1992, 1993, 4, 5, 6, and it was ridiculous. No one cared. Why? Because you're killing each other. But then when you start to affect white lives, these inner city gangs, these dangerous burger bar thugs, and you know what I mean, writing about them, when you was aware of them ages ago, and as you said, they don't care. Why? Because it's us. And then they just point the finger at them when they had some help to get their way. One thing about Captain Mashak always showed me, anything that happens to us is not our fault. You know what I mean? You got even some of our own people that go, well, it's us. We're dumb. We're stupid. We're evil. But we have some help getting that way, man. You know what I mean? When they make sure that a rap star is rich, but basically spreading it's okay to sell drugs, take your, you know what I mean? Take someone's life of your own race. He has help. There's someone actually making him rich to basically spread that. But you know what I mean? Yeah, everyone looks at him, but they don't point the finger at who's making him rich for what he's saying. You understand what I'm saying? And now, even like, for instance, gangs like burger bars, Johnsons, why are they doing what they are doing? Does anyone know why? That's true. No brotherhood, but how does the white man and the Indians fit into this? That's true as well.
Kind of white man at all. Like, they ain't got a dad. But the white man oppression that didn't make it around. You know what I mean? Or locked up in prison. You know what I mean? If you unlearn, because the white man made, you know, education hard to get. You know what I mean? Just anything. Or pushes Christianity on you.
All right, I'll get you a preset. It's the outcast of Israel. Basically, like, the reason why people do what they do, why? Because in this world, we don't fit in it. You know what I mean? We live in the, you know what I mean? We live in a community that is what? Just for us. And then even in the communities we have, we don't own none of the shops. So a lot of people think, well, where, I mean, like, I'm looking around and I don't fit into any of this. And no one don't want to let you have no job. You know what I mean? And that's another thing, telling people, look for jobs. There ain't no jobs out there. I know people that have been in the job center for years and they are trying, and there's nothing out there, man. And especially when you're black, forget about it, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's even extra hard for you as well. So then, because of the oppression of the white man, and basically you don't own nothing, the last thing you have is drugs. Like, well, I like nice things, so damn, like, why not? Now, it doesn't make it right, but these other nations are responsible for that too. But you know what I mean? Again, everyone points a finger at him, but not realizing why he's got that way. You got some?
Yeah, like, a black man will sell drugs, go to jail, do his time, and then he can't get a job. Every CRB check he goes, boy, you got a criminal record. So what's he gonna do? What's that drugs again? He gotta live, and that's the circle they put us in. Like, how am I gonna pay my time to society? Come out, like, how you gonna punish me by locking me up? I come out and you punish me again by not giving me work. Like, I've been punished already. How you gonna punish me twice? And that's what the white man does to us. You can't stack a shelf if you've been in jail before. You can't even mop a toilet. You can't clean toilets if you've been in jail before. So what's the brother gonna do? Start drugs again? And
that's right.
Again?
That's right, and it's heavy because if you get locked up, that's meant to be done. And like, listen, he served his time. Now, you know what I mean? You're free to go out there and live your life, but You really can't, because after you're out, they're always letting you know, well, you did this, you can't get a job, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? It was really good, you know what I mean? But you can't get the job, I'm afraid. So 9 times out of 10, everyone needs to eat. Everyone needs electric in their house. So him being someone who needs money, what's he going to do? He's going to do what he was doing before. And that's the cycle that we are in, man. You got it for me, the Outcast.
That is it. When is it?
Now, the one in Jeremiah, the 30. It might be 30 and 16. But we was calling them outcasts. Like, we've got a message. Yes, fine.
Yeah, 16.
That sounds about right. About you should have the word outcast in there. Does that sound right? 3016.
Yeah.
I got it. Okay, let's get that.
Jeremiah 30 and 17. For I will restore health unto thee.
So now listen to what the Lord's saying. In the last days, he's going to restore health unto us. As a nation, we're not healthy, man. We're sick. In Isaiah 1 and 3, what it say? The whole head is sick, from the head even down to the foot. I mean, as a people, we're sick, man. You mean when you see a black man in the church, he's sick? When you see a black man in the mosque, he's sick. He ain't got no health. You mean the only health we get is by serving the Lord, man. And the Lord's saying he's going to restore health unto thee. Read on.
And I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Most High, because they called thee an outcast.
They said what?
They called thee an outcast.
And that's the problem. Every nation looks at us and goes, outcast. That's why do you think you got people selling weed, selling crap? Because they think out there in the world, they don't belong there. So by default, they think, well, I'm an outcast, man. So I'm going to stay amongst my people, victimize them, rob them. Why? Because out in the world, I'm an outcast, man. You know what I mean? I don't like what they like. I don't walk like them. My hair ain't the same as them. God. And that's why, as a nation, we're like, I'm an outcast, man. You know what I mean? And that's why, if you notice it, whenever like a black person wants to get rich, what is the first thing he always does?
It's a white woman.
That's one of them. But
and he's trying to get rich.
Yeah, we're trying to get rich. Why? Because he wants to be like the white man, but he doesn't want to do it like them. Why? Because he thinks he's an outcast. So he wants what he's got, but he's trying to do it in his way. And you mean, and that's the problem. We're not doing the things we do because we're just evil black people that don't know no good. We do it because why? Because society makes us feel like we are some outcast. You know what I mean? Okay, 1 second. I must say, yeah, it's in there.
Yeah.
On the UK page, it's like Captain Michelle's gonna jump in on the UK page. Briefly, just ring him a second. Just find out stuff. Oh, you got it gonna go fine also. Yeah. That's what's it. Yeah, I believe he's going to jump in on the stream that I'm on right now.
Hey, Shalom, Hakim. Yeah, some Shalom.
Yeah.
Shalom, so you have Hashem
Shalom, so you have some Shalom thought.
Yeah, some Shalom thought. All right, Salah, here, brother.
Con's the one cut. Turn the cameras.
I mean, you need a second? Just take a second and switch it around if you need to. That's fine. Also, Karath, yes, I emailed you a couple articles. I want you to hold, all right?
All
right. Just shout me when you're ready.
Kind of the one concept.
Trouble.
Put that way. Concert is what's it?
All right, is it flipping back and forth as you need to?
Concert, it is, but it's not showing your camera, sir.
Okay, no, so I think I should be on in a second. All right, we solid?
Concert.
All right, more time correct. Where was that question?
I was reading the which verse? Jeremiah, the 30 and the 17th verse about how the nations they call us an outcast.
Say that again about how what? How the nations what?
It's about how they call us an outcast.
Okay, and this was somebody's question?
Also,
okay. You're just going over it. You pretty much finished with it?
Concert, I was done, sir.
All right, no sweat. Just you know for sure, you know exactly. I'm definitely gonna get the questions tonight, but you know for sure we had to deal with, the boy them, as karate like to say. We had to deal with the boy them, right? We had to deal with overall, of course, the white man, because he is the devil the Bible speaks of. Right? And I'm not sure how much news you're watching, but brother, what's going on with the world powerhouses right now? It's directly in line with that prayer we pray after every class, which is afflict the governments of our enemies. You understand? It's directly in line with that prayer to afflict the governments of our enemies. You understand? It's for sure. I mean, it's happening like, no other. It's happening like no other right now. From Britain, France, Italy. I mean, right now, to me, it definitely seems like the whole of Europe is getting ready to capitulate. I don't know if you're all familiar with what happened in the news, but let's get some of the questions first, if there are any, and then we'll move ahead with Merkel and Macron and May. Boy, there could not be a better time to witness the white man, clutching his damn pockets. It could not be a better time to witness the white man suffering the way he's suffering and being unsure of his future. You get me? There could not be a better time to witness the whole thing. So what questions we have, if we have any at all? If not, let me know.
So I got a quick question on just basically on the news. What happened was quite a few shit on the news actually. But one of the things in the news was in the UK the knife crime is through the roof, yeah. So they had a debate, and in the debate they offered for Sadiq Khan to come, and Sadiq Khan never showed. Like what would the UK stance on that? Like basically the mayor of London don't care about the problems of black people, or we voted him to be the mayor of London. He didn't show. Okay,
give me a little bit more on what was the debate about, or what? Tell me who organized it.
Kind of one concert. I got the article here, sir. So let me get it real quick. On the UK page.
Right. Also, somebody else I needed to look up for me. The friendship deal or the friendship treaty. I think that's what it's called. friendship treaty that Germany and France signed this week. The friendship treaty. Also, I think Karathia sent you an article with a beef between Italy and France. There's a beef going on right now between Italy and France. Just hold those two things for me. But that friendship treaty definitely. Also, while the brother reading, look up again the EU. You know, just a basic description of the EU. And the French Revolution. There's a part in the history of when they formed alliances with each other and were fighting with each other before the whole thing got squashed by Napoleon, and then they formed the EU later on. You get me? Just look that up. Whoever's not reading, just look it up for me, and I'll grab it after. All right.
Concert.
All right, go ahead. Up.
This is the BBC News. London knife crime. Government and Sadiq Khan decline TV debate. Sadiq Khan has been criticised for not taking part in a special BBC TV debate on knife crime in London. During the programme, a grieving uncle described the issue as a civil war running on our streets. The audience also felt knife crime was not the Mayor of London's #1 priority, as suggested by Sophie Linden, his deputy mayor for crime and policing. She said Mr. Khan could not attend due to long-standing commitment. The Mayor of London has said he would only take part if the government did so. So despite London Minister Nick Hurd agreeing to take part, he pulled out. Instead of Conservative MP for Sutton and Cheam Polly, Scully joined Miss Linden and the Met Deputy Assistant Commissioner Mark Simmons. The focus of the debate was centered around discussing the causes and how to stop the amount of violent deaths of the capital, which was risen to its highest level in a decade. In 2018, London saw 137 homicides. One of those victims was Sammy Sidham, who was stabbed to death in East London. His uncle felt there was not enough intervention, prevention, or deterrence from being of the process from when our children feel there is their only choice.
Okay, so and that guy who you're just talking about there, he was the one who was stabbed on the moped?
Last, the brother that stabbed on the moped was recent. That's 2019, sir.
This one is what?
This is, I think, East Indian, sir. I stabbed in this current event, yeah.
Okay, no sweat. Okay, so he was supposed to show up. Did he send a representative?
Last, sir, he's saying that it's not his #1 priority at the moment.
Okay, and who does knife crime affect directly, predominantly? I know there's a ton of nations involved. It's not just Israelites. It's not just blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians stabbing each other. But you know, the Turks and them doing it, them Eastern Bloc, them Russians and them Kyrgyzstanis and you know, Uzbekistan, them doing it, the Polish doing it. So, but who does it affect predominantly?
Predominantly, it affects us.
Predominantly, it affects us. Being the victim, or being the perpetrator of it, or both. Both. And does the other nations, are they the ones who do the stabbing, or is predominantly us as well?
Predominantly us, but there is incidents where they stab or get stabbed. Like my brother that stabbed recently, was 14, got stabbed by a white boy. And
right.
In the newspaper, it didn't say criminal stabbed a 14-year-old. Didn't say a murderer stabbed him. It said a young lad stabbed the boy. So everyone's mad about that as well.
Right. Okay. So, okay, of course, officially, the UPK stance on that would be, of course, the white man is the devil, the Bible speaks of. Right? That's the official stance. He is the devil. He is to blame for it all, because Sadiq Khan's people did not pick cotton or cut cane. You understand? Sadiq Khan's people was not stripped of their identity and put to work on plantations in the Caribbean to give the Queen of England all that money. And in other words, if anybody should be a mayor of London, it should be a Benjamite. You get me? It should be a Benjamite, but of course, the queen representing that devil, the white man, is only driven by what they can consume, the amount of money they have. They have alliances with these Arabs and these Pakis and allow them to come in and sit over the top of us. You get me? Your stance would be, give me Revelation 18:4. Give me Amos. Is it Amos? Gather thyself together, O nation not desired. Right, 18:4, and what's the other one?
Gather thyself. That is
Zephaniah.
Yeah, it's like it says Zephaniah 2 and 1.
Yeah, give me that as well. Give me that. Give me also Zechariah 11:5. All right, that's probably what you'll need. How you're looking on the weather this weekend?
It's towards no rain, and it's not going to be hot, of course, but it's going to be all right, sir.
Is it going to be exceptionally cold?
It's going to be cold, sir, but not
that cold. So it's going to be a good day out there. All right, it's going to be a good day for camp. And y'all gonna go out there and give it to them raw for this thing here. They're gonna have an airful this weekend. You're gonna hit them with this, with the whole stabbing hypocrisy. You're gonna hit them with Brexit, why them women should stay shut and let men run the damn place. And of course, the fall of Europe as a whole. Like Europe is getting ready to go back into, brother, I'm talking about, old school, East versus West, North versus South, tribe versus tribe. Europe is getting ready to go back into there. They're getting ready to go back to bread lines. You understand? Getting ready to go back to bread lines. Like white people was complaining about being poor because, of course, so-called immigrants taking everything. Well, guess what? Once that European Union goes, brother, it's good. They're gonna wish they had just settled to look at somebody in the face. They're gonna wish they had just, been content with the little that they had. But it's going to get absolutely horrible with what is about to happen, all right? So go ahead and read what you have.
Revelation 18:4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins.
Right? The whole reason that we are suffering on both the left hand and the right hand with this knife crime issue in England is because why? Because we are all Christian. The person being stabbed and the person stabbing is Christian. They're good British Christian citizens that believe in Britain and believe Britain is the way to go and have joined themselves to a beast. You get me? The mentality is join yourself to the beast so you now take on the whole operation, the workings of the beast. What is England famous for?
England's famous for going to America, sugarcane.
Sugarcane, more present day. There's a social reputation that England has all over the earth, particularly in Europe, but it's a social reputation. You ever heard the phrase typical English hooligan? That is English culture. English culture is just to be a societal menace. Because you don't have what you want, you get drunk and just tear everything up. And because we're part of that society, guess what we're doing? Tearing everything up. You get me? We're tearing everything up because we're learning from them. And this is not just in Britain. This is everywhere where we are oppressed by another nation. This is in America. This is in the Caribbean. This is in the so-called Hispanic territories. This is on the reservations. This is everywhere where we are ruled by another nation of people. We tend to take on their culture and their philosophies and act like them and be just as wild and as uncultured and godless as they are. You get me?
Come on, come on.
The scriptures say we are to come out of it. We are to totally separate from England. We are to separate from London and understand this is our oppressor. And because this is our oppressor, we cannot act like our oppressor, or else the plagues of England is going to now start plaguing us. And that knife crime and that the violence one towards another that we experience is a plague of England, because those white people would normally do it to each other. You understand? I'm telling you all nothing new. Let one football team lose a home game. Do the away fans make it out safe? When the whistle blow, don't the firms get together and bricks and bottles and pipes? When it's the same thing now we doing. The same thing we doing. What is most of the knife stabbing over? Territory, a block, postcode? It's the same thing, where we don't understand that we stabbing and killing each other over a block that the white man own, that the Pakistani own. You get the point? While we are always on the bottom of society, Sadiq Khan, he should not come to our stuff. He should not care. The outrage should not be Sadiq Khan not coming, but where are the black leaders? Why isn't the outrage? What are the black leaders doing? What are the black leaders saying? What's the one you always call, brother? The bald head one.
David Lammy.
David Lammy. What is David Lammy saying? Is he charging Sadiq Khan with anything? Is he coming out and saying if this was white boys being blown up by Arabs, there would be a national outcry? It would be a state of emergency in London?
They say nothing.
He's saying nothing. So this is why we must separate from their society. Their society is not good for us. It's not healthy for us. It does not benefit us in any way. So the only thing left to do is to separate, right? If it is we so want to be like the white man and be British, well, Britain is separating from the European Union because they're not happy with the response of the Union. Why don't we just separate from Britain? If you so want to be like the white man, we should follow suit and separate as Britain is separating for the betterment of their people. We need to separate from this beast. You get the point? Right? Any more on it?
That ye shall not receive of her plagues.
Right? That we don't receive of her plagues. Right? This empire is getting ready to fall out. That European Union was supposed to be the white man's empire ruling the Eastern Hemisphere, trying to rule the world behind America. That thing is falling apart before your very eyes, and that does not have to affect us. Just like Trump's government shutdown is not affecting black people. It's not affecting us. It's not affecting us in any way, shape, or form. That government shutdown is not affecting us. We were struggling before, we're struggling now, and we'll be struggling when the government open again. You get me? It doesn't affect us. So why not just separate? Why not just separate? We'll be better off without them. So when that ship sinks, we're not a part of it. You understand? Give me the other one I asked for.
Ephaniah 2 and 1. Gather yourselves together. Gather to.
Take your time. Go ahead.
2 and 1. Gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together. Nation not desired.
You understand? That's what we should do. You got to harp on that. You got to harp on that. You got to speak on the whole thing. You got to speak on the whole issue, because if it was an immigration issue, Dave Lammy would be there to defend his fellow Pakis. You understand? To defend them smelly, disgusting criminals, them bunch of drug dealers, them bunch of insurance fraud people, right? Defrauding the whole government or a whole ton of money. He would be there to defend them. He would be there to push legislation and makes it easier for them to enter into the country and to get businesses and to do everything else. There's a reason they not stabbing each other like they would do in Pakistan or Afghanistan or wherever the hell they're coming from. Because in their countries, they committed violence against each other. There's a reason they ain't doing it in the streets of London, because they have a economy. They have something to sustain them financially. They have something to lose. There's so much to gain and something to lose, where we have nothing to gain and nothing to lose. Our life joined to this beast is meaningless. Our life joined to him, it doesn't mean anything. You understand? It means nothing, which is why we must separate and gather together. And you have to go out there and pound that into the head of Israel. You have to pound that into the head of every so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian that walking around in the streets in the UK, depressed out their mind. Shit, listen, that whole UK atmosphere is a depressing atmosphere. Your weather alone is just, I mean, good night, brother. You come outside, you just feel to go back in the house. So imagine just living there, that life there, being under these heathens. You're going to do stupid, dumb things. Are these brothers right for what they're doing? Hell no. But can you blame them? Can you put all the blame on their shoulders? You cannot. You cannot. Our leaders have failed. You understand? Our leaders have failed us. Give me the is there any more on that one up? No sweat. Give me the other one, Zechariah 11:5.
Zechariah 11:5, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell them say, blessed be the Most High, for I am rich.
Right.
And the shepherds pity them not.
Right, which is the real issue. Where are our leaders? Where's the outcry for our people from our leaders? Where's our leaders telling us to look out for each other? Where's our leaders telling us to separate? Where's our leaders fighting for our economy? While they slaughter us in the streets, you understand? While they do it, where's our leadership? It's not there. Their own shepherds pity them not. Dave Lamy don't pity us. Give me some other names. What's the other woman there who joined the alliance with Theresa May?
Dion Abbott, sir.
Dion Abbott, right? They do not feel sorry for us. They don't care about our plight. They're not losing sleep at night over what's happening to our people in the streets. They're not losing sleep at night over the way we live in a country that we gave our damn life to, that we gave our heritage to, that our parents gave their lives to. They are not losing sleep over it. They're not. They do not care about it at all, and they should. And you have to charge them leaders, charge them all. Sadiq Khan, listen, you think in the kingdom, I am coming to some Chinese and Japanese meeting about why they're killing each other? I don't give a damn. Just make sure you bring the tribute at the appointed time. Y'all could kill each other. Just leave one nigga to bring the how much ever percent of gold and diamonds I say I want on the first day every month. As long as he's showing up, y'all do what the hell y'all want. I don't give a damn, because they're not my people. And Sadiq Khan, he is not an Israelite, and he should not care. He rightfully should not care. Who we should charge is our leaders. And when you charge your leaders, you're going to realize they do not care either, because they judge for hire. That's what the scripture said. The leaders, therefore, judge for hire. They're in there for money and nothing else. They're not in there for the lives of Black people, Hispanics, and Native Indians. They don't see the young brothers' lives as something valuable. They don't see it like that, because they see us through a money filter. Like, they look at us through a money filter, and because the vast majority of us do not have the wealth that they have, they look at us like we're another nation of people. And that's why they use certain language: thug, nigger, hooligan. What else? Roughneck, ruffian, ragamuffin. Like, all these are just words they use to separate us further from them outside of the economic boundary that we have. You get me? Give me also Micah. What else? Micah 2:11. Give me, this is not your rest. Micah 2:10.
Concept, okay. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest.
Right? Arise ye and depart. This is not your rest. the very fact that you mad because Sadiq Khan didn't show up means that we are at rest in London. We are at rest in Birmingham. We are at rest in Croydon. We are at rest in Nottingham, in Leicester. We are at rest in Liverpool, when this is not our rest. This is not our rest at all. Listen, and this is so far we are removed from how things used to be. The older generation would go to foreign countries, get money, and send it back and build up home. Over time, that stopped. It doesn't happen as much, right or wrong? Now, this is home. Now, this is where I stay. This is my home. Like, Windrush would not have been an issue had the mentality still been, get the money, send it home. Get the money, send it home. Because why? If they deport you, you're going back to an empire. You're going back to an already established country with businesses that you could fall into. Or just go back home and live off the shops you build up. You understand? But that has slowly been moved away because now this has become our rest. And once again, this is not knocking the generation of the Windrush, but I'm just showing you how our leaders did not lead us in the right way. Because what was the major outcry from the Windrush issue? This is my home. I don't know nowhere else. The Chinese man ain't saying that. Them Pakis, when they get deported and whatever else, they ain't crying. They're going back home to the empire that they built, that they done stole our money from. You get me? Right? You had your hand up, Park?
Yeah, initially, that was the plan. Like, the brothers, the plan was to come over here and make money and then go back.
Right.
I don't know what happened, you know, stay here and shit, but initially that was...
It's Christianity happened, Doc. Christianity made sure that we started seeing England like home, not as you just working closer to the plantation owner or closer to your slave master. We started seeing America as home, started seeing everything as home, and it may be where you live, but you can't give your soul to this place. You can't give your whole spirit to this place. You get the point? Added to that, Christianity dilutes your senses of being racist or favoring your race. Christianity dilutes that part of you. It makes you more loving. You understand? It makes you more loving. And to make that move of separating, to make that move of slaving, getting an income, and making sure you have enough to eat and live, but back home, that getting built. That takes a certain amount of discipline. It takes a certain amount of drive. You have to always be in the frame mind of this is war. This is warfare. I'm not settling here. I'm constantly building. I'm building something up. But Christianity done took that away from us. You understand? Why we must separate. Why we must come out of her. Why we must do it. We cannot accept the slave master anymore. We cannot accept the persons of the heathen anymore. We must turn to ourselves and discard and destroy everything that they bring, that they stand for, every philosophy, everything they put on our table. We had to throw that away. Then we could stop knife crime. You think it hard to stop knife crime? Do we have a problem in the black community of snitching? Is snitching a rampant thing that happens all over the black community? It happens, but it ain't nobody coming out and saying, big deal is a huge thing. You know why? We could enforce a policy. Like, black people are fully capable of enforcing something on ourselves. You grow up knowing no snitching. I ain't gonna tell, I ain't gonna call the cops. I'll do what? I'll handle it myself. The problem is we are motivated to do that for all the wrong reasons. You understand? We are motivated to do it for all the wrong reasons when we should be motivated to separate ourselves and not be like the heathen. You get the point? not be like the heathen. If we could enforce no snitching, you mean to tell me some bigger brothers, how you call them, roadman?
Roadman,
all the ex-roadman, the roadman who, you know, the older generation roadman. You mean to tell me they can't enforce anybody starve anybody go how to deal with me? You mean to tell me they can't push that throughout? Right? That can't stop? That could very well stop. Our motivation is what's lacking. We motivated to be under Sadiq Khan when we should be trying to be on top of him and decide if he eats and decide where he sleeps. But we don't have that motivation because Christianity done made us into lovey, lovey, lovey. Lovey, lovey, lovey. Listen, now, I don't want no meeting about solving black problems and near one heathen present. I don't want that. I don't want him knowing the strategy to end what makes us profitable to him. You understand? Solving black people's problems will make us less profitable to every single heathen. It's important to them we have problems. It's important to them that we have crime and broken households and abortion and child support and everything else because they all get paid. The whole system thrives from the time the cuffs go on. The time you make that emergency call and the ambulance show up, the money running. You get the point? The time you get booked, the ink costs money. The paper to write up your record costs money. The sutures and the IV, they stick it in your arm because you're bleeding out from a knife crime. That costs money. And none of that money going to us. Guess who it's going to? Come on.
The white man, sir? Or the
mayor? They're going straight to Sadiq Khan. Understand? He has no desire to be there. For what? To do what? To make us come together? The only solution to stop that is that we separate from you. And to separate from you is the downfall of England. That's it. Sadiq Khan don't want that. No problem. We do. You take that, put it in your chest, and go out on the street with extreme fervor, extreme zeal, and pound it into black people's head until them seats get filled up and we busting out the walls. You understand? All right, where else we are?
Another question, good one. What does the Bible mean by a land of milk and honey? Like, why did it use them words, milk and honey?
Yeah, show me exactly what it's talking about. And have you ever had milk and honey? So that
I have milk and I've had honey separate, but not together.
All right then. Just think of a time when there's no Kool-Aid selling at the corner store. Just think of a time where in order to eat, you have to go kill what you have to eat. In order to eat, you have to have brotherhood with the brother who has the cattle farm. There's a brother who gonna have, he gonna have produce. He planting, yams and cassava and fig and bananas and wheat. Then there's another brother who have cattle, cows, buffalo, deer, lamb, chicken. You get the point? Turkey. Imagine a time where we had to have brotherhood and be willing, and our life depended on going to war and fighting. It wasn't this soft. It wasn't this easy. Milk and honey is, it's a delicacy. Do you know how you get milk? You don't go to the frozen section and open the fridge.
Oh God!
You gotta go get under a cow, brother, and pull. You gotta go get under a goat and pull. You get me? The brothers down there in Trinidad, they have a bee. I forget what they call it, like a bee farm. That's what I'm gonna call it. The Lord allow they put the footage up soon, where they going, brother, and pulling out the beehive and scraping the honey off, putting it in bottles. They ain't going to the store and taking honey off the shelf. They taking care of them bees themselves. You get the point? So now, imagine now in that type of life, milk and honey is like, that's good food. That's good food. Just think in the wilderness. What we had: water, bread, and meat, quail and manna, and water from the rock. You understand? And milk and honey is synonymous with, you know, good living. Good, it's like synonymous with good living. You know, things is good. Because milk, of course, coming from the cattle, so the cattle healthy, you have enough to eat, and you have enough just to provide the milk. I mean, bees. Capleton sings in a song, food is coming from the soil, honey is coming from the hive. You all don't know what I'm talking about.
I'm a fan.
Oh, yeah, you're not Capleton fan. All right, then, no sweat. I'm going to tell him. Right. He said food is coming from the soil, honey is coming from the hive. That simply means my bees are alive. It's okay. He's singing in his song. So it really is showing how healthy he is and how good the life is. It's think about it like today. What would you say?
Like today, eating good is like having steak or you know, plush life.
I'm gonna give you one. You all know Meek Mill, right?
Come on.
Meek Mill say the money turns the noodle into pasta. The money turned the tuna into lobster, some shit like that.
Come on.
Why he saying it like that? Why pasta and lobster? Why is he saying that? Because, you know, oodles and noodles is all food. That's, you know, put it in the microwave, put some hot water on that shit. You know, I just eat a cup of noodles, hell. You get the point?
Yeah.
Pasta is something different, right? That ain't that processed thing. A lot of them pasta be that handmade stuff, with a chef actually putting it together, then putting it through the grinder where it comes out in strips. You get the point? A lot of the pasta in them restaurants is handmade like that. You get the point? Think about the lobster versus the tuna thing. You understand? Like that, to get in good lobster for the white man, that's, you know, you had to have it to get it. So it's synonymous with, this represents good living. A land that flows with milk and honey. You understand it like that. Like not everybody could get milk and honey, but imagine it flowing where everybody getting milk and honey. Poor people, regular. Milk and honey, that's normal for us. When you think about them Hamites drink pee from the cow over the You understand? Because it's simple and stupid. But it's representing good living. You dig? All right, any more?
Concept of I see the answer on Isaiah 8 and the 20th verse down to 21. So okay.
Isaiah 8 and 20.
Concept.
No sweat. Also to pay attention to the chat just in case anybody typing anything in. Both on the Facebook and YouTube, all right? All right. Let me know when it's 20 to the hour, all right? I'm not letting Macron and them get away today, Akim. Not today. Not today. Them devils beefing something horrible, brother, and sneak dissing each other. I'm looking at each other, I'm like, these devils are some grimy. And they look at us like we filthy. I'm like, what they're saying about the next one. I'm like, God damn. Go ahead,
Concept Isaiah 8 and the 20th verse, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 21, and they shall pass through it, hardly be stead and hungry, and it shall come to pass that when they shall be hungry, they shall fret themselves and curse their king and their God and look upwards. So, I just want to know what verse 21 was on about, sir.
Okay, don't sweat. Give me where is it again?
Isaiah 8 and 27 to
22.
Verse 22 comes in, and they shall look unto the earth and behold trouble and darkness, dimness of anguish, and they shall be driven to darkness.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check and see. Read it one more time from 20.
From 20, kind of concept.
I'm thinking the past. You and your question is what exactly? Just 21.
Concept.
Okay, I believe it's talking about the land because this is talking about going through Assyria or being under the Assyria, right?
Also, from what I remember, sir, it was about Isaiah, sir, talking about the Lord was like, he's going to afflict everyone else except him, sir.
Oh, that's what he's saying when he said he would pass through it and hardly be stead and hungry. That's what I'm saying. But the it he's passing through, I believe, is, you know, well, of course, the affliction with Assyria, if I'm not mistaken. All right. I may have to get a refresh on this with the general. Read it one more time.
Kind of one concept. To the law and unto the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them. And they shall pass through it hardly be stead and hungry. And it shall come to pass that when they shall be hungry, they shall fret themselves and curse their king and their God and look upward. And they shall look unto the earth and behold trouble and darkness, dimness of anguish, and they shall be even to darkness.
Okay, yeah, I have definitely had to get refreshed on this. I'm not sure exactly if he's talking about us or them. And that's why he's saying if they speak not according to the word, there's no light in them. Right? And when they pass through it, they're going to be hardly be stead and hungry. Right? It shall come to pass when they shall be hungry, they will fret themselves and curse. It sounds like it's talking about us being punished. All right? Unless you have something else, and I'm definitely have to ask General this tonight.
Concert, that was
That was it.
Kind of one,
any questions on the chat?
That's it. That's it. Concert. We got the sister Thar Urasa.
Go ahead.
She wants a breakdown on Proverbs 1 from verse 20 to the 33rd verse.
20 to 33.
Concert.
Let's see if we have the time for it, right? Proverbs 1.
20.
All right, let's go. Go ahead, Al.
Proverbs 1 and 20. Wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voice in the streets, and crieth in the chief places of concourse, in the openings of the gate, in the city. She uttereth her word, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. What
she wants to know is, in the verse, when it says she cried without, she wants to know what like the she represents and the her.
Okay, the she, I'll tell you what the she does not represent. The she does not represent a sister going out to the street and teaching. Just in case Satan was talking to you saying, you know what, I need to go out there with these brothers and hold camp. I'm gonna just correct you. Right? I'm sure the sister was not thinking that, but I'm gonna just make sure and help out. All right. The she does not represent that. The she, okay. The she is just a personification of wisdom. That's what the she is. It's like how some people call the car. You know, some people have a name for their car, Betsy or whatever, and saying she. It's like how people also refer to land or ships. They say she's coming about. Bring her around. If you ever been on a big ship or ever worked on a ship, in the past, long ago, I worked on boats. And bring her in, give her a wide berth, which is meaning a turning radius. And it's talking about the ship or the boat, but it's a personification of her. Because of course, you controlling the boat, you controlling the land, you controlling the car. It's just a way, it's an old way of expressing things that you own, that dear to you or valuable. You say her, like land is called, land is referred to also in the feminine sense. You get me? And in this one, wisdom is referred to in the feminine sense. So the she here is wisdom. Wisdom cried out in the streets. Who is crying out in the streets? The priests and prophets of the Lord. You understand?
Come on.
All right. Is that it? Or she needs more? We could get some more if you need. If just to make it clear, we definitely could get some more. All right. You want to go ahead and read?
Verse 23, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit upon you, and I will make known my words unto you, because I have called, and ye refused. I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded, but ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof.
Right, so of course, is the Lord chastising Israel for not responding? The same way how you asking about, the knife crime and what's his face? Sadiq Khan. Like, if they want to solve knife crime problems in London, they should be at Brixton when you all at camp. You understand? If they want to solve the problem, because why? Why they should be there?
Because, like you said, because that's where we solve black problems. That's what all the black people are.
Okay, that's true. But go back to the scripture. Go back to what the scripture says. Okay.
Turn ye at my reproof.
No, verse 1.
Wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voice in the streets.
Because wisdom is in the streets crying, sighing and crying. We the I.S.U.P.K. started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We're here to tell you that you are the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the real Jews of the Bible. The white man is the devil. Christ is black, and he's coming back for his people. That's wisdom, Mark. You know how much wisdom that is? That would stop knife crime. That would stop black on black crime. That would stop child support. That would stop adultery. You know how much wisdom that is? That would empty the mosque with every brother who is in there talking about Assalamu alaikum. That would empty the Christian church. You understand? Wisdom crieth out in the streets. Go ahead.
She uttereth her voice in the streets, and she crieth in the chief place of concourse.
Right? We cry it out in the chief place of concourse. Right? We in the major cities all over the world. You get me? We right here in the capital of the world in DC, crying out in the chief concourse, telling them who they are and what they are, telling blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians who they really are and who they should not be, and what they should do and what they should not do. That's wisdom. And the Lord is chastising Israel for not listening to her. Keep going.
In the openings of the gates, in the city, she uttereth her word, saying,
right, skip down to 25.
Verse 25, but ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. I will also laugh at your calamities.
Right? Because as a people, we have rejected the Lord. When trouble falls, he will laugh. Because why? Why would he laugh?
So like I said, because Because we was crying out, so that's why the Most High would laugh because they was born, sir.
That's true. You're right. But just think about it. When trouble comes, what do people say? Oh
Lord,
oh God,
oh God, oh Lord, help! And what do you want me to do?
God.
You want me to run to help? No. I was telling you all the time. I was telling you all the time. The counsel is there. You've turned from my counsel. That happens to everybody. You turn from it, and now when trouble take you, well, how they say when water more than flour, you want to cry out and be rescued. No. That can't. No. That can't happen. It's he laugh at your calamity. You get me? Because you didn't want to follow what was being brought out. Is there any more?
Like I said,
The sheet.
just a time check, sir. 22.
Go ahead.
Time check, sir.
Okay, no sweat. All right. Any more of the she or does the sister understand?
So that's it. She hasn't written anything, sir. Just now. Concept, she understands it.
Okay, she gets it.
Other one concept.
Okay, no sweat. All right, go ahead.
Concept. I had another one in Isaiah 7 and 18, sir.
Okay, no sweat. Sis, you had your hand up too?
Yes, just one question off topic. I just wanted to know if buying gifts for Purim was like one West or like UPK. Do we do that or we don't do that?
So what? I have to ask that question. Somebody asked me that a couple of weeks or months ago. Totally forgot. I'm gonna ask that question again. Give me some time. I'll get back to you by next week with it. All right? Or I'll let Prash know and he'll let you all know. All right.
And then 18, Isaiah.
Isaiah 7 and 18. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall hiss for the fly that is in the uttermost part of the rivers of Egypt, and for the bee that is in the land of Assyria. And they shall come and shall rest all of them in the desolate valleys.
Where you at? Isaiah what?
So 7 and 18, sir.
Okay. 7 and what?
18, another one.
Okay.
And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall hiss for the fly that is in the uttermost part of the rivers of Egypt, and for the bee that is in the land of Assyria. And they shall come and shall rest all of them in the desolate valleys, and in the holes of the rocks, and upon all the thorns, and upon all the bushes.
Concept. I just want to know, like, what it meant by for the Belai and the Beta, like what did it represent, sir? In verse.
I believe it's talking about. Hold on. I believe it's talking about the heathen. I don't think it's talking about calling us out of Syria. Let me check with that too. Isaiah 7 and what is 19? 18.
It's a concept.
Right? Hold on. I believe it's talking about that. But let me double check that with you again, all right? So the other one was Isaiah, what, 8 and what? 21?
Concept. That's right, sir.
Okay. And this one is Isaiah 7 and 19. Let me write that down. And then you have the one for Purim, right?
Kind of one concept.
Right. As far as I remember, I don't think that's part of our tradition, but I do understand the question, and I'm gonna double check. All right. Boom. All right. We good? No more in the chat, right?
Let us no more in the chat, sir.
Okay. No sweat. Somebody talking some shit over there.
Khan got some. I don't know if it's the name. Edomite, sir, or something talking about.
Let me know, Hawk. You think I like dealing with them. Let me know. I'll show you how we deal with them easily. All right. Okay. This devil here is saying, don't, the white man is not the devil, right? Don't blame others for your problems. All right, then. I ain't gonna blame you. When Europe falls, don't blame niggas.
That's right.
Hispanics, nothing. Y'all blaming the Ethiopians and the Arabs for Brexit. Don't tell me shit about not blaming nobody. How the hell the pot go call the kettle black? The whole reason there's Brexit is because you blaming other people for your problems.
That's right.
Listen, we picked your cotton and shine your shoes and cut your cane and made you billionaires, and you blaming the heathens for Britain struggling? Blame the damn queen. That bitch sitting on billions. Why you all not saying the queen needs to cut her budget in half? Why you all protesting Prince Harry and Prince Charles and Meghan Merkel or Markle, whoever the hell broad name is? Why you all want a Brexit? Tell the queen don't eat so much. Tell her stop buying Birkin bags. Go pay less and buy pay less bags. You are telling me about don't blame the white man for your problems. Listen, let me tell you something. Let me help you out, E.T. or decoding E.T. or whatever the ass your name is. Hell. The white man is the devil, the Bible.
That's right.
You get the point? Everything wrong with the earth is the white man's fault. And we're going into it right now. Stay tuned, E.T. Stay tuned. Don't worry. We're gonna we gonna sort the whole thing out. We're gonna sort the whole thing out, all right? Give me my stories. All right, so what happened this week? Anybody knows? Anybody up on it?
Come on, Cancer.
All right, help me out.
So, Chancellor, what's it, Merkel? Oh.
Right? Angela Merkel, the German.
Merkel, Emmanuel Macron signed a peace treaty for France and Germany. To have a peace treaty, said that this will strengthen the fact that the EU is going through changes with the UK leaving. This will strengthen the whole European Union. France and Germany have been at it for years. You know, certain wars like the Prussian and the France are saying that, you know what I mean, it's time to put that in the past, sign a peace treaty, and they believe that this will strengthen the European Union.
Mm-hmm.
So
all right. Well, hold on, wait. We gotta get the actual treaty. The treaty is, anybody know what the treaty is called?
It's called the Friendship.
The Friendship Treaty. Karathi, what other article you holding for me?
So, like I said, I got the Italy and France article, sir.
All right, so what? Hold that, and then read for me the treaty.
Come on.
Whoever had the treaty, Karathi, Prasha, you had the treaty?
Concept of it said the Treaty of a Friendship is a common generic name for any treaty establishing close ties between countries and may refer to the German side, the German obvious Treaty of Friendships.
Okay, that's not the one. The Treaty of Friendship. That Treaty of Friendship, that's like a common name, they call it. But it's not really that. It's the Treaty of La Chapelle or something like that. That's the one I want. It's the Treaty of La Chapelle, La Capelle, something like that. So let's see if you find it.
I've got the Treaty of Lausanne, Lausanne.
Read, let me hear.
The Treaty of Lausanne, the French was a peace treaty signed by Palais de Lausanne of Switzerland on the 24th of July 1923. Last.
It's called the Treaty of Aachen. Oh boy. Okay, look up.
Concept, leave that.
Aachen.
Aachen. The Treaty of Aachen is one way. They call it the Treaty of I.S.U.P.K or Friendship Treaty.
Oh, can't I got it, sir?
All right, go ahead, please.
France and Germany hope to revive the EU with Aachen Treaty, while France's Emmanuel Macron and German Angela Merkel might see the world similarly. Their efforts to kickstart Europe's lax political ambition and capital. France and Germany on Tuesday, 22nd of January, signed a new friendship treaty to deepen their alliance at a time when Brexit and the rise of populist and nationalist forces threaten the EU. And the
Hold on. I thought this was to make the EU stronger. They say they signed this friendship treaty to deepen their relations. Oh boy. Salaki. I like this type of shit, Salaki. I know some brothers like the history, some brothers like, the prophets. I like seeing when this thing starting to go down, brothers. It's like the second half of the movie. You know what I mean? It's the second half of the movie when the hero starting to, get back his strength. They signed this treaty in the middle of the whole thing with Brexit because they see that the EU is being threatened. Right? That's what it says? I hear you.
Come on, Constance. You, sir.
Right.
Oh. Con, to deepen their alliance at a time when Brexit and the rise of populist and nationalist forces threaten the EU. And the natural world order is under attack. The 16-page treaty was signed in the German city of Aachen, the resting place of Charlemagne, who united much of the Western and Central Europe during the early Middle Ages. It's marked the 56th anniversary of the LSE Treaty, a cornerstone of the Franco-German reconciliation after the Second World War. 74 years, a single human lifetime after the end of the Second World War, what seems self-evident is being called into question again. German Chancellor Angela Merkel warned at the ceremony that's why, first of all, there needs to be a new commitment toward our responsibility within the EU, a responsibility held by Germany and France, she added.
Okay, stop right there. So you see, this was something that they did prior at the end of World War II, right? Because of course, between that French Revolution all the way up to there, Europe has had a history of there were different alliances being formed, and there was a whole ton of different wars between the alliances, and that made the region unstable. But this was before they decided to come together under one common market called the EU, right? Under one common market called the EU, having that umbrella where they have certain laws. They have economic stability, social stability, and trade, right? So the economic meaning they're going to have $1, so ain't nobody weak or stronger than anybody else. Social stability, because now you are a citizen of one territory, you are European citizen. You get it? That's why your passport, a British passport, good in Spain or good in France or wherever else, right? Good in Greece up until a few years ago where Greece economy collapsed and Greece had to, roll, right? And what's the other thing I said? Trade. Trade, because of course they, lower taxes on imports and exports. Of course, there's no, it's not pound versus, give me another currency somebody else uses. Franc is not pound versus the franc or pound versus the drachma, right? But now it's euro. So now you're able to buy and sell in a more controlled climate, which stabilizes the whole region. But brother, also part of the way you gain access into the EU is that you have to meet certain criteria, certain economic criteria. You have to have a certain amount of inflation, a certain amount of growth, a certain amount of GDP, a certain amount of money or reserves saved in some account. Greece damn near lied about it. I gave you the shortened version. You could go check it yourself. Greece damn near lied about it, and then Greece economy collapsed later on. You get the point? Because, right, Greece tried to pull out of using the euro, rejecting the euro because they just couldn't keep up, because really their backing wasn't that strong. And that was like, that was a major blow. I don't know if you remember when Greece economy crashed, the stock market, world stock markets crashed. It was a major blow. And of course, shortly after, I think that happened in 2012 or something like that. In 2015 is when Tony Blair had his whole vote for Brexit. Right, 17, right? 17 is when that happened. I think 15 is when the whole discussion came up about Brexit. So now it presents a future of uncertainty for Europe. Now, within that, you have other world events happening, right? Within that time, you have 9/11. You have the response to 9/11. What was one of the fallouts of the response to 9/11? And when I say fallout, I mean not symptoms, but what was one of the things that happened after as a result of 9/11?
Like I said, was it war on terrorism?
The war on terrorism happened, but what was a fallout? Was a repercussion from the war on terrorism?
Like, was it George Bush saying, "If you're not with me, you're against me"?
That was the beginning of the war on terrorism. Something happened after that.
So like I said, a lot of the countries that they attacked, they was offending the allies of them, which kind of destabilized certain countries.
They effectively destabilized the Middle Eastern region and Northern African countries, right? Which means that because of that, because there was no strong man in the Middle East, with who was first? Saddam Hussein was first, then Osama bin Laden, Gaddafi, and the last one was Assad, right? They didn't kill him, but they damn near, peg him all the way back, right? Now, the Middle East is so unstable that citizens of those countries are flooding where?
They're basically coming into like the UK, sir. Like
not just the UK, they're coming into all of Europe. Right? They're coming into all of Europe. Italy, because it's so far south, and Greece were the first people to experience this influx of refugees. They call them refugees. But of course, a Mexican is an illegal immigrant. Right? Right? All the news reports was these refugees from Tripoli and Tel Aviv and, Tel Aviv, Salaki, Tripoli, and what's the other place? I forget the name of the place, but northern Syria, and them Africans from Ethiopia and Mogadishu, they coming across, hiding in the back of cargo vans. I ain't gonna point no finger. hiding in the back of cargo vans, talking about drive. Niggas watching too much TV. You get the point? They coming in and they being a nuisance. So Italy was one of the first places to really feel the brunt of it. And of course, then they moved into France. Then they started moving further north into Germany. And there was severe problems because they couldn't control it because of how unstable the place was. The problem is, a lot of these European countries have not let go of other countries as colonies, right? You have places like Spain and Portugal still controlling certain parts of Africa, right? France has a huge control over certain parts of West Africa and some of them some of them, of course, the Caribbean islands, Martinique and Caribbean territories, right? French Guyana, and of course, certain parts of Africa, same way. Spain also has some, what's them islands down there?
Senegal, France has
France has Senegal still, but Spain has some of them islands. This is Madeira, Canary Islands. So now, because those big countries, and if you look at it, they make up who? Yeah, 7 heads. Right? Because those big countries still have some sort of unofficial or official tie to these small countries. You have, of course, Hamites and Arabs coming through the illegal way, and a lot coming through the legal way. You get me? So now, what's going on is that these countries are not, they ain't happy with the shit, because of course Britain ain't let go of the Caribbean. Britain ain't let go of much of their territories. They only let go in name by giving so-called independence to these countries. But you know, from even being there, you know, the Queen still kind of run things in certain parts of the islands. You get me? Whatever the Queen don't control, America controls the other side. Right? Same thing with France, with Martinique, French Guyana. You get the point? And them Hamite nations. And some of them Hamite nations, they still use the franc. And because they're under France, they also use the euro. So now it's like an unofficial highway that's going on of illegal and legal immigrants crossing the border. So now over the past couple of weeks, Italy has been making statements against France, been making heavy statements against France. Karathia, pull up what you have for me. Also, to Parashi, let's look through that whole. You might have to Google it. The Treaty of La Chapelle. It tells you. I'm gonna just say it now in case you don't find it. It tells you this treaty specifically enhances the military strength of the two people in the treaty. It's not just about, you know, trade. It's a military alliance, meaning we will not fight each other, but we will fight for each other. Right? Just look, let's Google it. The Treaty of Aachen or La Chapelle, it tells you that there, or it might be in that same article, that one of the tenets of this treaty is a increased military alliance. Right? Karathia, read what you have for me.
This is the BBC World News. France summons Italian envoy over Africa remarks. France has summoned Italy's ambassador after the Italian deputy prime minister accused the French of exploiting Africa and fueling migration. On Sunday, Luigi Di Maio called on the European Union to impose sanctions on France for its policies in Africa. He said France had never stopped colonizing of African states. Italy's populist leadership has repeatedly clashed with France in recent months on issues such as immigration, protests, and culture.
Right. So hold on. So, this argument been going on with countries like France and England to an extent long time ago, even maybe about 10 years ago, when a lot of people was calling FIFA, which is the world governing body for football.
Come on.
A lot of them celebrities or powerful people were saying FIFA was a mafia, how FIFA was encouraging slave trade because it doesn't regulate countries like France and Italy and Britain from taking young African boys from their family, talking about, you know, they're taking them to put them in a better living condition, but really it's to put them in youth coaching schools so they could sell them at the age of 18. Gaddafi stood up in the United Nations and said this was slavery, modern day slavery that you all are upholding. Now, I ain't on the side of no Hamites. They're going to be sold in the kingdom of Christ the same way. So this is not sympathy for the Hamites. I don't, you know, I'm explaining to you the backdrop of what happens. So now, being that the EU is starting to be stretched very thin, in management, in resources, and now their future is damn near, it's not guaranteed. Because once one person leaves the table, everybody else is emboldened to do the same. You get the point? So now, these Hamites are coming through Italy and putting a strain on Italian economy and whatever else. The Italian deputy prime minister was speaking against France because France has so many of these territories in Africa and is encouraging migration because of course, greed, having that working class, the economic benefit of having these Hamites come and play football in France for all them, you know, football teams. Listen, France win the World Cup, Africa won the World Cup. You get what I'm saying? All the players are from Africa with the exception of who? Griezmann and Giroud and somebody else, like 3 people. Everybody else is Hamites. You get me? And now, because of the laws of the EU, they have something called a European Economic Area, which even extends outside of the European members. Because not all of you, as you know, not all countries in Europe are part of the EU. But there's some other countries who are close by. Lithuania, I think, is one. Switzerland is one that has always remained neutral. They're in the European Economic Area. So they don't get to vote on the laws that the EU creates. But of course, they benefit from the equal playing field that the EU creates, if that makes sense. Right? So now, with all that going on, those territories that France still control, they kind of benefiting from the EU indirectly. Like just think like a colony. You understand? So Italy started coming up against France, making all these statements publicly. Is there any more to read on? Go ahead.
As Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte tried to soothe the row on Tuesday, highlighting the 2 countries' solid friendship, right-wing interior Matteo Salvini appeared to intensify it, commending France Emmanuel Macron as a terrible president. Why are these?
Imagine that shit. You're supposed to be in charge of the world. The best people on the planet Earth. And that's what E.T. just said there. E.T. say white people is, everything and we should love white people. But these bastards can't stand each other. And they're supposed to be at a table in the European Union, breaking bread, splitting profits, ensuring the longevity of everything. Them Italians is tired of them Africans and tired of dealing with them because France is making it easy. France is making a highway from hell for them Hamites. Straight into Paris. Gay Paris, tule lule vula mu, or whatever they be saying. But that old spitty language. Them Italians is mad about the shit. And over the past few months have been making statements undermining another European leader. Now, what does that do for the whole European climate?
So that's it. That makes it have a unrest because it's not all on one accord. Eventually, they're going to start to do their own thing. We're not all on one accord. So now it's disrespect by other leaders. All right, go ahead, Kraft, yeah?
So basically, because France is colonizing Africa, then them same Africans are going to come to UK, and you know what I mean. So because they are allowed citizenship in France, and France is part of the EU, and so is England. That means they're also citizens of England as well. So
okay, in a roundabout way. Now, don't get me wrong. They'll still be illegal to a point, but it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier for them to be assimilated in, which is why France notably has so many Hamites in France. You get me? It's about colonizing and moving them through. But what this does also, not only does it undermine the leaders at that level, when that leader has trouble socially in his country, what can he could always come and say the European Union has us. I would go to the union and get support. But if your people are reading in the newspaper every day, you ain't shit, you're a sloppy president, you ain't worth two dead flies smashed together, you preferring another race of people over your own Frenchmen, what happens? It fuels resentment, and that starts protests. That happening, which is what we see in France. Those protests are a lot worse than the media is saying. Those protests are nigh onto the beginning of the last French Revolution, where and Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI lost their heads. So now a major player in the European Union is calling the next president, you ain't shit. And the people from below him saying, you ain't shit. Macron is not an idiot. Macron is saying, listen, I need to form an alliance now. It's chess, not checkers. I'm going to form this alliance now because this thing is going to fall apart. And when it do, who have the biggest and the most guns is going to eat. You understand? Give me some more. Is there any more on it?
When France criticized Italy for not allowing rescue boats carrying migrants in the Mediterranean dock, Italy responded by accusing France itself of refusing to accept migrants.
You understand? So now they're accusing each other. France is like, yo, you Italians, you could have let them people come into your southern border. Italy is like, listen, man, you didn't let them cross the border up north. What the hell are you talking about? Don't nobody want them Hamites, but flies. Don't nobody want you Hamites, but flies. Right? Go ahead.
But the rows have spilled into other areas. Right-wing Interior Minister Matteo Salvini accused France last week of harboring 14 terrorists wanted by Italy after a fugitive ex-militant and extradited from Bolivia. He said that they would have been sent back to Italy to end up in jail rather than quaffing champagne under the Eiffel Tower.
You gotta understand how these white people talk. Yeah.
Oh God!
Like, you're supposed to send these terrorists back here so we could put them in jail and beat them behind. Instead, you playing kissy kissy, hello, Mr. Pussycat, drinking champagne under the Eiffel Tower. Meaning, remember, the Eiffel Tower is a symbol of what?
Like romance, otherwise?
Romance. So he telling Macron, you making love with these terrorists under the Eiffel Tower when we want their heads. Brother, this thing is getting ready to define. The white man is the devil, and the shit is not going to end. You understand? So France and Germany signed this treaty, brother, looking for this shit. Russia, you didn't see it nowhere in that treaty of La Chapelle.
Concert, I have it said.
It says it. Oh boy, it says it there. I will still scroll through it and see. It says it there that this was a big part of it, which was a military alliance. I might have to go to that BBC article. There was a BBC article, I believe, on it, or Guardian article. All right. Okay, so now go ahead. Somebody saying something?
I've got one there, but it's not talking about the alliance. All
right, check it out. Give me 1 second, Akin. 1 second. Shalom, Shalom. Yeah, chapter 30. I'm 2 hours. For most of it, I'll get back with him in a second.
I got this.
The grains that I need, right? Cabbage, spinach, onion, all those kind of natural grains. I don't eat spinach, I eat kale. And because spinach is acidic. And I don't eat, everything that I eat,
All right, Salakia, Akim. Salakia about that.
No further.
Okay, anybody find it?
The Treaty of I.S.U.P.K of 1748, sometimes called the Treaty of I.S.U.P.K, ended the War of the Austrian Succession following the Congress assembled on 24th of April 1748 at the Free Imperial City of I.S.U.P.K, called the I.S.U.P.K in French, and then also in English in the west of the Holy Roman Empire.
Hold on. In the what?
In the west of the Holy Roman Empire.
Mm-hmm. So in the west, the western part of the Roman Empire, they will call it what? The Treaty of La Chapelle? In English, right? So you see this, okay, it's still reminiscent of the Roman Empire, which the EU is damn near suffering the same social strains of the Roman Empire being spread too thin. You get me?
All
right, go ahead.
The resulting treaty was signed in the 18th of October 1748 by Great Britain, France, and the Dutch Republic. Two implication treaties were signed at Nice on the 4th of December 1748 and 25th of January 1749 by Austria, Spain, Sardinia, Medina, and Genoa. The terms, the Great Britain and France dictated the proposed terms of the treaty, which had previously been agreed at the Congress of Breda, and other nations accepted it. Austria recognized Frederick II of Prussia, conquest of Sicilia, and renounced parts of Italian territory to Spain. France withdrew from Austrian Netherlands, but had some of its colonies returned. France regained Cape Breton Islands in Canada, lost during the war, and it returned to the captured city of Madras in India to Great Britain and gave up the barrier town to the Dutch.
All right, so that's giving you an outline of the original one. You understand? That was the original one that damn near split Europe in, you could say, in two, because he realizes two alliances. You understand? It's like two alliances on both sides. It's the same thing that happened right after the French Revolution in the 1700s, late 1700s. The same thing happened where they were splitting sides, and they're looking at that again, but they're doing it in the middle of still being in the European Union, which it really says that we ain't really trust this union to protect us. So we are going to begin protecting ourselves. Okay, I'm not seeing exactly where I read it, but it says it that a big part of this friendship treaty is, you know, increased military alliance between the two. You understand? So if that's a part of it, then you know what they're gearing up for Let me just get a few scriptures just to make sure. Give me Ezekiel 38.
Concept.
Go ahead.
Ezekiel 38 and 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, a son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Agog, and the chief princes of Meshach.
All right, no sweat. Go give let Margot get a little bit of experience reading. All right, just tell him where you're at. Ezekiel 38. Right, he's saying, set thyself against Gog and the land of Magog and the chief princes of Meshach and Tubal. But the prophecy against it. Anybody know who that is? Gog, Magog, Meshach, and Tubal?
I think Gog and Magog is Russia. I think Tubal is France.
No. Tubal is them Russian, them Meshach and Tubal is them Russian territories. All right? Right? All them little Russian territories, it would be like Chechnya, right? Gog and Magog is like Russia and then major Russia, minor Russia, right? Like how you had Georgia, Russia, and Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, and all them stands. That's Gog and Magog. And then you have, Tubal and Meshach, all them Russian territories that Russia control, just like how France control them territories or Britain control territories. Russia has some territories too. You understand? Right. I believe you could count the alliance with China in there as well, being like a major territory of Russia, just because of the alliance, not that they're Russians. You get me?
Go
ahead.
Ezekiel 38 and 1. And
no, start at verse 3. Start verse 3. Continue from verse 3.
Verse 3. And say, thus saith the Lord God, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal.
Right? So you see, Gog is like the chief place of Meshach and Tubal, which lets you know Meshach and Tubal is like territories of Russia. Right? Gog and Magog. Right? It is like the big one and the small one. Right? He has something against Gog, which is them Russians. Go ahead.
And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. And I will bring thee forth and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothes with all sorts of armor, even great company with buckles and shields, all of them handling swords.
Right? What does he mean when he say, I will put the hook in thee and turn thee back? I'll put hook into thy jaws and turn thee back. What is that referring to? Go ahead.
Also, I was going to say, does that mean that they go back to their ominous ways? How like the Russian Empire once was? That's right.
That's right. If you go back in recent history, right? I believe that it wasn't any time of Putin. I believe who was there before? Gorbachev. Right, when Bush was meeting Gorbachev, you had Russia was damn near on the verge of accepting and swallowing fully democracy, which was the mark of the beast, the full mark of the beast. They're all devils, but of course, Russia wasn't all the way down with how America was, but they was damn near going there. And then Russia started turning back, reneging on all them treaties and deals. That's why today, there's such a big deal about Trump having alliances or affiliations with Russia, because back then with Bush, Russia didn't play ball like they were supposed to. You dig? Do you remember the Georgia-Russia conflict, where Georgia-Russia tried to break away and continue democratic, and Putin put some tanks on the border and shellacked them. Shell them down. Putin shell them down, shell them out.
Kind of one answer. You answer.
Go ahead.
So like you say, so communism the opposite of democracy.
In the white man's eyes. In the white man's eyes, communism is opposite of democracy in his eyes. In the Lord's eyes, they're all the same. You understand? It's just a different form of white man's rulership, but they're all the same in the Lord's eyes. In the eyes of the Lord. But in the white man's eyes, he looks at communism as the enemy of democracy and democracy as the enemy of communism. You get me? It's just like one devil is more masculine and the other one is just a fag, which is the democracy side of it. You get me? Which is why Putin is against the homosexuality so heavy. Certain things Putin is against that America is totally for. And in that conflict, they fought over that area where Georgia, Russia is a Russian territory, just to the west of Russia, and then they were getting help from America through their allies. And it was a huge standoff for about 9 or 13 days. And they wasn't playing. Russia was not playing with them. They was like, listen, if y'all want to go with them, you're going to die. You get me? He was like, y'all could go with them, but remember who close to you, and you're going to die. It was so heavy that Georgia's soldiers started dropping their weapons and running across the border to surrender to Russian soldiers. Right? You could go back and look it up on YouTube where Georgia soldiers was running and they would just throw their weapons down and run because the Georgia side would have killed them had they let them go across the border. You understand? It's like, we ain't letting you desert us. You get me? That hook is representing the Lord is turning Russia back into communism, heavy into communism, restoring national pride in Russia, because this is a sign of the turning of the tide. And that's where we're at now. Keep reading. You had your hand up, Mark, or you was still up?
Quick question, sir. So you see the kingdom, the Most High Kingdom, what was that? Is that more communism or dictatorship or democracy?
It's called righteousness. Once again, we're not political. We are not a political people. Who's in charge? The man. If there's several men in the room, who's in charge? The eldest brother. If there's some sort of ambiguity, who's in charge? The king, and whoever the king leave in charge. That's it. That's it. He's the man with the scepter and the sword. That's why David didn't want to kill Saul. You get me? Remember, David's men said, listen, Saul's sleeping right there. Look, he right there. We could go do him in now. And they was on the run for how many months or years, eating hard corn. The average Israelite don't even like eating regular boiled corn or what's the roast corn. Imagine eating corn just straight out the field.
God.
You understand? Them men ready to go home and curl up under something nice and tender and soft. Some bad sisters up in Israel and drink some wine and, rejoice being the king's men. They're sleeping in a cave where farmers would put their sheep. They get a part of the cave, light a fire, trying to stay warm. His men being, soldiers, they're hearing something on the other side. They go see Saul, they're sleeping. They say, listen, man, I know how to get to him. We could go snuff him out tonight. You could go back and sit on the throne. David said, I will not touch the Lord's anointed. That's righteousness. That's not democracy or communism. That's just righteousness. Saul was unbrotherly as hell and vexed with several demons from the Lord because he disobeyed the Lord. And he would have deserved it. And David said, he is still the king. Even though I'm being raised up, he is still in charge. I will not touch the Lord's anointed. You look around to see what's going on now. Trump just said today that he recognizes Venezuelan opposition leader as the leader of Venezuela. But they're going through a coup right now. Or they just got over a coup. You have the Italian president saying, Macron, you ain't shit, nigga. You get the point?
Oh, God.
Cameron, do the election. He didn't want to leave Brexit, lost the vote. He stepped down. A woman come in there and say, I'll do it, no problem. And what they saying about her now?
Say she's a stupid woman and shit like that.
Woman, you ain't shit. You know how English people talk. English people are one of the most disrespectful, annoying people I've ever encountered. I ain't gonna lie to you. Lie is snobby and cocky and proud and speaking a vernacular you can't understand, but you know you want to just rip their face apart. You understand? So imagine they're doing it to each other. It's just, that's democracy. That's communism. You get the point? Anybody go against Putin, Putin will just poison you. You know how much of his men he done poison and get rid of? That Kim Jong-un in charge of with his North Korea. He killed his uncle and his, all his brothers and things for the throne. That's communism. You get the point? That's what communism is. In the Lord's kingdom is going to be righteousness. That's all. All right? Keep going in Ezekiel, quickly.
Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya, with them all of them with shield and helmet.
Right, so the Hamites are going to get involved in the Third World War, according to the Ezekiel 38 prophecy. Russia going to turn back. All the territories of Russia going to come together and lock up and link up. And them Hamites and them going to get involved. They're going to stand up too. All them Mogadishu and Somalia and all them, they're going to start standing up. They ain't going to be hiding in the back of the caravan no more. They're going to be driving. They're going to be driving the damn caravan. Go ahead.
Goma and all his bonds, the house of Togama, all the Lord porters and all his bonds, and many people with thee.
Right, who is Goma and Togoma?
Like I said, is that the Greeks? The Greece, the Asian Empire, Greece something. It rings a bell, but
Goma is France.
Oh, France.
And Togama is French territories. Right or wrong? Right? Right? All his bands, the house of Togama, they're going to stand up and lock up too. That's why the French doing what they're doing. You understand? The devil in here, decoding ET, say Europe will become the most powerful nation in the world and UK will not be part of the EU. Let me tell you something. You all are going into slavery, devil. All your leaders, because of their pride, is marching you all straight into Israelite slavery. And it's going to be a wonderful thing. Y'all could never be the most powerful nation on the earth when you have the most racist president ever in history sitting in the White House. Right? America is the most powerful nation on the earth. None of y'all flexing on America any day, no way. I got telling you that straight up and down. None of y'all doing it. Europe is falling apart because it's weak and it was meant to fall apart. That's the prophecy. You will rule for a little while and then you are going to fall apart and go into slavery under black people. Them same people who stabbing each other in London, give it up. Same brothers and sisters who stabbing each other in London and Brixton, and listen, don't worry. Your day coming when what is decoding ET, when the ET man gonna be serving you, shoveling your horse manure and washing your horse down and limping in his chains, coming to your big house. Chris Karath, you're looking like damn Quasimodo. What's the hunchback from 300 name? I forget his name. You know the one I'm talking about. Who can't lift the shit? That's how all you white people in Poland, in Austria, and all from Krakow, Poland, Austria, and Wales, all people from Upper Derby and Southampton, and who can't talk no English. Y'all are going to be slaves because the European Union is coming to an end, and we are going to pray for it to the very last credit. Very last credit to the last trump. And let me tell you all something. If you all think the UPK is not the house of the Lord and where the Lord stands, we pray every day. What's the curses say? Who find it for me in the curses? Salaka, and then we're gonna wrap it up.
It's like you said, let loose all the terrorists.
Okay, but that's not what I'm talking about, but we surely praying for that. Where it says send evils and curses and punishment and destruction and death to the Edomites and the nations and all the governments of our enemies. You think it's coincidence that Brexit happened the same time with America's shutdown and France beefing with Italy and forming alliances with Germany. Listen now. You think it's coincidence? You think it's coincidence that Russia is looking up and it's not coincidence, sir. The Lord wants it, and we're praying for it. And right. Listen, E.T., I have to go in the gym. What's the gyms you all have over there in England? Give me the name of one of them gyms.
Pure Gym.
Say it, Pierre?
Pure, P-U-R-E, Pure Gym.
Pure. You see what I'm saying? The slack, yeah. I ain't been across the in a little while. My ears, you know, ears are tuned. I don't make back a trip there and, you know what I mean, go eat some, you know. Yeah, I mean, get some crimpets and tea and, you know, and get back, you know, I used to say in it and taking the piss. I don't get back my twat, right? Let Decoding ET go get a lifetime gym membership in Pure, or however you say it. Pure Gym, because slavery is going to be hard, devil. Slavery is going to be so hard when Christ comes back. And there's no more EU, there's no more Britain, there's no more France, there's no more Russia, there's no more Italy. There's only white slaves. White slaves, African slaves, Pakistani slaves, Arab slaves. That's all that's going to be. And brother, it's a wonderful sight now. Y'all pay attention to these devils, man. They're cursing each other out. Something horrible. That Italian tell Macron, you making love under the Eiffel Tower, toasting terrorists. I mean, that's a disrespect on a whole other level. And y'all watch, this thing is going to fall apart before your eyes. And if you listening to this class and you in the UK, you find Officer Parasha if you had to crawl on all your hands and knees to find that school down there in Lodge Road. What's the address?
It is 394 Lodge Road.
394 Lodge Road, Birmingham. Give me the postcode. B what?
185 PW.
185 PW. You'll find them down there in Lodge Road, man, and get into class so you could be under the protection of the Lord as these devils fall. You're going to see something come out of out of Westminster. It's going to be a hairy cave beast in a short second. They're going to totally flip once this thing falls, brother. And you better be on the right side of the Lord or you'll be on the wrong side of them. E.T. gonna be telling you about don't blame me I'm blaming the white man. He is the devil. And you will blame the white man too when this EU falls. With that, pass the class over to Priest and Officer Karafi.
With the I.S.U.P.K. With the I.S.U.P.K. started at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding General Yohanna, rule for a brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which
right? Of course, you know, that's the honorable thing to do because we are neither democratic nor communist, but we are a righteous people. You follow that 6 month rule, you see somebody you like, follow the rule. Make it known, follow the rule. After your 6 months, you're going to go for permission to go court that person. Passover coming up. There are going to be some excellent corsages for you sisters. You sisters who want somebody to court you, want to make it available, make yourself known that you're available. Do the thing righteously, man. Stop doing the thing the sloppy, nasty way like the white man, inboxing and private messaging. Do the thing boldly. Let one of these soldiers step to you in the Passover, unsheath his sword and show you what he's working with. Yeah. And find out if you're available and talk to your camp leader for you. Do the thing the right and honorable way, man. Right? Let's just go back to that glorious way that we used to operate. All right, go ahead.
Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3 and 8 to 10, me 10th in the Hebrew, ma'ashara, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or the teacher, priest fund, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like to give, upcoming holy convocations, Purim, the 18th and 19th of February. All academic ACCA, check the bulletin board in the hallway and check all I.S.U.P.K social media. If anyone wants to be a trooper in school, to start wearing all black. That's black boots, black shirt, black pants, black headband or headscarf. And with that, I imagine
we are enough to do the press pressure. You had a role with the brother.
Also, yeah, he's all right, sir.
He's still up. All right, let's get the prayers out.
Hello, one I imagine Mr. Rice, sons, face the east, and it's the Lord's prayer. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malach Wavka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'aratazah, Kawa, Hayah, Bashemayim, Nafananawa, Lakam, Cow, Yawam, Wasalakanawa, Kabawafnawa, Kasalakanawa, Kabawafinawa, Wala'ah, Dabayainawa, Banasaya 1, Abal, Hawashainawa, Mayan, Right, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha Wahafapara, La'aiwalamyam, Aman.
And in the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. In earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it.
And the prayer for the Hakah, the power, Yahweh. Bahashem Yahawashai. Baba Kushar. Nafananawa. Hakah. Lara Pa'ah. Kal Makala. Wakal Madawa. Hakah. Latahar. Hamatazarayim. Hakah. Lahakwayim. Hamafyim. Hakah. Arakawah. Hatama Allah. Lagarashan. Bahashem Yahawashai. Tawada Aman.
In the English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahawashai. Please. Give us the power. Power to heal. All manner of sickness.
And all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the lepers. Power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahawashai. Thank you. So be it.
And the blessings, Barakatah Yahweh. Wa Yahawashai. Wa Mayaka Allah. Wa Alahayim. Matah Zabiyah. Allah Wapyahana. Ha Alawapyam. Ha Saranyam. Ha Kwatazayanyam. Ha Kaliyalyam. Wa Akwafyam. Yahweh. Bahashem Yahawashai. Tawada Aman.
In the English, bless you, Yahweh. And Yahawashai. And Michael.
And
the angels.
Commanding General Yahanna.
The generals. The captains.
The
Officers.
Troopers.
And the sisters. Yahweh. In the name of Yahawashai. Thank you. So be it. Pray for the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh. King of heaven and earth. And all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahawashai. Listen to us now. Right now. Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
And death to the heathen.
And death to the heathen.
That speak against us.
That speak against us.
Thy prophets.
Thy prophets.
The teachers.
The teachers.
The princes.
The princes.
The priests.
The priests.
The Israelite brothers.
The Israelite brothers.
And the school.
And the school.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
And death to the heathen.
And death to the heathen.
And shake loose.
And shake loose.
The pockets of the rich of Israel.
The pockets of the rich of Israel.
That refuse to give to the school.
That refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches.
Force their riches.
To enter into thy sanctuary.
To enter into thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
And death to the Edomites.
And death to the Edomites.
And the nations.
And the nations.
And their drug dealers.
And their drug dealers.
The court system.
The court system.
The prison system.
The prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the governments of our enemies.
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 Amalek synagogues and armies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
The Pope.
The Pope.
Islam.
Islam.
Christianity.
Christianity.
Egyptology.
Egyptology.
Militia.
Militia.
Ku Klux Klan.
Ku Klux Klan.
Aryan Nation.
Aryan Nation.
Skinheads.
Skinheads.
Posse Comitazi.
Posse Comitazi.
The gay movement.
The gay movement.
The lesbian movement.
The lesbian movement.
Spies.
Spies.
Workers of witchcraft.
Workers of witchcraft.
NASA space programs.
NASA space program.
Army.
Army.
Navy.
Navy.
Air Force.
Air Force.
Marines.
Marines.
Wall Street.
Wall Street.
Open up the internet.
Open up the internet.
And the airways.
And the airways.
Cable access channels.
The cable access channels.
And the radio channels.
And the radio channels.
Convict the spirit.
Convict the spirits.
Of any of thy people.
Of any of thy people.
That seek to stop us.
That seek to stop us.
And bring swift death.
And bring swift death.
To all the heathen.
To all the heathen.
That stand in the way.
That stand in the way.
Or try to stop us.
Or try to stop us.
From broadcasting your words.
From broadcasting your words.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the terrorists.
Let loose all the terrorists.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Through the earth.
Through the earth.
And destroy.
And destroy.
Cause the terrorists.
Cause the terrorists.
To come against America.
Come against America.
And the UK.
And the UK.
And the EU.
And the EU.
And destroy them.
And destroy them.
In their strongholds.
In their strongholds.
Let America shake.
Let America shake.
Let the EU shake.
Let the EU shake.
Let the UK shake.
Let the UK shake.
At the hands of the terrorists.
At the hands of the terrorists.
Let Yahawashi.
Let Yahawashi.
Michael and Gabriel.
Michael and Gabriel.
Come down with the flying saucers.
Come down with the flying saucers.
And kill all the heathens.
And kill all the heathen.
And come up against us.
And come up against us.
As we speak thy word.
As we speak thy word.
Cause it to be known by all.
Cause it to be known by all.
That it is the angels that have done it.
That it is the angels that have done it.
Cause it to be spread through the media.
Cause it to be spread through the media.
Throughout the whole world.
Throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
In the name of Yahawashi.
In the name of Yahawashi.
Thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it. We're going to bless Israel. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem Yahawashi.
Ba'ashem Yahawashi.
Barakanawa.
Barakanawa.
Wayasha'ala.
Wayasha'ala.
Wahabayat.
Wahabayat.
Sapayim.
Sapayim.
Barakapah.
Barakapah.
Magan Hagan.
Magan Hagan.
Go ahead, I'll keep going.
The Gordon family.
The Gordon family.
The Bennett family.
The Bennett family.
Ba'ashem Yahawashi.
Ba'ashem Yahawashi.
The word Aman.
The word Aman.
And what we just said was, Lord, in the name of Jesus, bless us and Israel and the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones in the name of Jesus. Thank you. So be it. With that, I'm going to give one kiss to the teacher. A men of Israel, I Madam Shabbat, I Madam Barak, Yahweh Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai Brakatah,
Yahweh Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai Brakatah,
Yajamata, and we saw 20 sisters, Madam, one kiss to the sisters, men of Israel, I Madam Shabbat, I Madam Barak, Yahweh Shema Allah Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai, Yajamata. Class dismissed.
All right, Akim, well, next week, all right? Let's make sure you get them hell at camp, all right?
Call on one concert.
Make sure you call them about it, all right?
Call on one concert.
All right, Shalom.
Shalom. So you have Hashem Shabbat.